welcome once again to our wrestling show. I'm Jim Davies with Bulldog Bob Brown. Ed Whalen is on assignment. We've got a great card for you, including an 8-man elimination bunkhouse brawl. But first, before we get underway, I want to tell you, Bulldog, we were flooded with letters. It was disgusting what you did last week, interfering with the match, hitting Chris Benoit with a chair. What do you have to say? And hopefully you'll say you're sorry.
Well, the first thing you talk about Ed Whalen being away on assignment, let me remind you one thing. He's not on assignment. He just couldn't stand to be here to be alongside me tonight, and they had to give me you, which makes no difference to me because you're just as bad as Ed Whalen. I could sit here and talk all night long about Chris Benoit. What I did to Chris Benoit, it was coming to him, and I'm not sorry for it. But let's talk about something more important, the 8-man tag team match. I'm really looking forward, and this is going to be a great hour, especially doing it with you.
Well, let us launch the proceedings with this bout. It's a one-fall, 15-minute affair featuring Goldie Rogers, the weird one out of Hollywood, California, against David Powers, one half of the Power Twins from New York, New York. Quite a weight difference. Powers weighing in at 275, Goldie at 223. We got a 52-pound weight differential. How have you seen the action thus far, Bulldog, at this 5-minute mark?
Well, it's certainly been an interesting match. Don't forget, you know, the Power Twins weighs 275 pounds. Like you said, 60 pounds difference, you know. That just puts Goldie Rogers at his peak. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to go out there. He's got to take the match to him. He's got nothing to lose and everything to gain when he wrestles the Power Twins. Because he knows if he beats the Power Twins, there's bigger things in store for him.
And speaking of bigger things in store, I note that the IWA has ordered a contract bout between Muckin Singh and Davey Boy Smith, and the winner will be taking on the champion, North American champ, Don the Rock Morocco. That will be a bout worth waiting for.
Well, certainly no surprise to me. I knew it was coming some time ago. I knew that Don the Rock Morocco had to come back here. He had to face stiff competition. And the only way to face stiff competition, you put the 1 and 2 people involved in a match, the winner take all, and meets the champion. This is what I call a fair deal, Jim.
Well, I'd say it's a fair deal as well. And right now, Goldie Rogers is complaining that he's not getting a fair deal from referee Jurgen Herman. I would say Goldie could be in a little over his head with this big member of the Power Twins, David Powers. I still do not know how you can tell them apart.
Well, you know, you've been around as long as I am and as smart as I am, Jim Davis. You know, this show's going to run well this week. You know, Ed Whalen's gone, you know. There'll be no difference in our opinions and stuff. I know we get along together, me and you. I love your hat, and I know you like me quite a bit. You've told people so. I think we're going to get along great, and all I can tell you is it's certainly going to be a pleasure to do something without Ed Whalen around.
Whoa, I have told people that I like Bulldog Bob Brown. I do not remember it. I must have blacked out during that conversation. And I'll tell you, I have never seen Ed Whalen so furious as I saw him last week when you went after Chris Benoit from the announcer's chair, put a chair over Benoit's back, totally uncalled for.
Well, you know, Benoit got what he was coming to him. He's going to get it again if he badmouths me or doesn't want to act like a gentleman when he's in the ring being interviewed by Bulldog Bob Brown. But there's a lot of things better to talk about than Chris Benoit. I like this big Power Twin. I like this Goldie Rogers. This is going to be a good matchup here. And it's been going 7 or 8 minutes already. And I would say offhand that Goldie Rogers has the upper hand, Jim.
And that is surprising. I would agree with you. Goldie Rogers, who weighs in at 50 pounds less than the big man, David Powers, and he is putting it to him. I would say that in the 7 or 8 minutes thus far in the bout, Goldie Rogers has looked almost dominant for 5 minutes of that.
Right off the bat now you're different. You see, you're agreeing with me, Jim Davis.
Ed would agree with you if you rarely told the truth.
Okay, James. Here's Goldie on top of him again, but you don't pin the Power Twin that easy.
Did you see David Powers just throw his man off? But Goldie Rogers, he's just like a little pit bull in there, going after the big man. And in fairness to you, Bulldog, I cannot differ with you on this particular occasion because Goldie has been dominant.
Well, I tell you, he always comes prepared, Jim. You know, if the guy knows, the guy wrestles about 4 or 5 times a week, he knows who he's wrestling, and he comes prepared. This is why Power Twin is taking this guy lightly. He thought by coming in here, oh, I'm going to beat Goldie Rogers with ease. He's getting a big lesson taught to him tonight.
All right, now, it looks like David Powers wants to teach Goldie Rogers a lesson into the turnbuckle, and oh, he caught that size 10 boot right in the midriff.
And again, Jim, before we leave, you know, we've got a big BC tour coming up, you know, and we got Trail BC, Kelowna, Vernon, Kamloops, Prince George, Grand Prairie, Port McMurray. Then we got Prince Albert, Kitimat, Paris, Smithers. My goodness, I'm going all over, and I'm looking for a partner, and I'm going to ask you to do the tour with me.
I may pass on that. The thought of being your roommate all over Western Canada is just a little too much for my constitution to stand.
We could drink a beer together.
Maybe we can discuss this later, Bulldog. Meantime, Goldie Rogers still doing very, very well in this opener.
See, this is what they call a front face lock, Jim. Now, a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people will say, boring, boring. You know how the people yell. But let me tell you, Goldie Rogers is softening him up. He's wearing him down, and he knows that he's got to wear this guy down to beat him. He couldn't beat him any other way. And right now, I'm going to tell you, it's been all Goldie Rogers.
Well, Goldie showing why he is ranked number 3 in the Commonwealth mid-heavyweight division. There was a 2 count. You can see the strength of Big David Powers, though. He threw Goldie Rogers off him during that pin attempt, just like he was a little rag doll.
All he has to do is upset the Power Twin here today, and you know where he'd go in the standings? Right into #1 spot. Because I'm sure that Chris Benoit or Biff Wellington and Great Gamma is not going to stay there for long.
I thought you were a booster of the Great Gamma.
I am. But you see, he's been there, and he's lost. I'll tell you the truth, the people don't like Gamma, especially Ed Whalen and the officials. You know, I don't know why they don't like him. He's a great athlete.
Well, I think they don't like him because he cheats. Look at this. It's David Powers coming back. He's laying the lumber on Goldie Rogers up those ropes. Oh, ho, ho. Goldie's in trouble.
Tremendous, tremendous backbreaker. And now 275-pound elbow drop. My goodness, I'll tell you. That'll take the win out of anybody.
Rogers could be on his last legs. There's the suplex. David Powers has him softened up. Can he get in there for the kill?
Any ordinary man in the ring right now, this match would have been over. He took a suplex, he took a backbreaker, he took a big elbow drop, and now Goldie is still not finished. He's coming right back. Great signs of a great athlete.
Power slam. 1, 2, 3. It is all over. Your winner, David Powers. Took you by surprise, Goldie Rogers, going down to defeat.
Not really surprised, Jim, because I tell you, Goldie had nothing to lose and everything to gain. He went up against a guy 275 pounds, and I thought he did well. So I'm going to give him an A for effort. You know, I knew it had to come down to this. You know, when you put 2 of the great ones together, you put them together for a reason. And the reason is the winner will meet Don the Rock Morocco. But I'm sure that Mr. Singh will have a lot to say about that.
Well, you're sure about a lot of things, Bob Brown, but every time you say something, it always ends up being the wrong thing. Well, let me tell you something, Mucker Singh. That's right, Don the Rock Morocco come in this territory a few months ago, and he took that belt away from you. But you're still #1 in the line for that belt with Don Morocco. But #2 in line is Davey Boy Smith. So no matter what happens tonight, Bob Brown, between this 8-man elimination tag, no matter what happens, whether I get beat first or Kim Shaw gets, doesn't matter who gets beat first, I'm the second in line for that belt. You know what that means, Booker Singh? That means one thing. That means next Wednesday night, not Friday night, you've got to come here and you've got to face me one-on-one in the ring. And the winner of that match will face Don the Rock Morocco. And there's only one guy in this territory able to face Don the Rock Morocco with the same strength, the same size, and the same wrestling technology, and that's Davey Boy Smith. Not Mike Shaw, and not you, and not how many times you say I'm overrated or underrated. No matter what, Bob Brown, Davey Boy Smith is going to beat Mucker Singh, and Davey Boy Smith is going to face Don the Rock Morocco, whether you like it or not.
Well, thank you. I'm sure that Mucker Singh will have a lot to say about the remarks said by Davey Boy Smith.
That's the Weasel and Muckin' Sing Muckin'. You must be thrilled about the IWA ordering a bout between yourself and Davey Boy Smith, the winner to face the champ, Don the Rock Morocco.
You know something, Davies? There's a time in every athlete's career that you realize that you got to face an ultimate test. I'm not too happy the IWA comes out and says I got to wrestle Davey Boy Smith first and then Don Morocco second. I've been three-time North American champion. I don't have nothing to prove by coming out and wrestling Davey Boy Smith one week and having to wrestle Don Morocco the following week. I should be the #1 contender. I should get a shot automatically, and I think maybe Davey Boy Smith could have a shot at the winner, the new champion myself. I'm not sure. You know, a lot of people might sit back and say, man, that Mucker's been wrestling a long time. He's been around here, he's been around everywhere. Maybe people think I'm washed up, Davies, I don't know. I don't think I am, and I have something to prove. It's time for me to show that there's still a lot of heart left in me, and I'm serious. Davey Boy Smith, if I have to go through you to get a shot at Morocco, then I guess I have to do it. I want to reclaim the belt, the rightful belt that should be on my waist right now. And it's time for me to prove a lot of people that I'm not over the hill or I'm not washed up. If I got to beat 2 of the top 10 wrestlers in the world to become North American champion again, that's what I'll do.
A final word from you, Weasel.
Mucker champion, Morocco nothing. Mucker champion, #1.
Thank you, Rhodes Scholar. We will be right back right after this.
You know, this is going to be a kind of a mismatch, I would call it. You know, Ed Whalen would probably call it the greatest match on television. But to me, 275 pounds, 220 pounds, Jim Davis, don't make sense to me. And I would say before the match starts, this should be a big win for the Power Twins.
Well, this is really disgusting. I find myself agreeing with you in 2 consecutive bouts.
You know, we get along, don't we?
Well, I might not go quite that far, but I can tell you that Larry Powers, with more than a 60-pound weight differential, 275 to 213 for young Len St. Clair out of Diamond Beach, California. I would say a seasoned veteran who's a big heavyweight against a relative newcomer who's a mid-heavyweight. It should be no contest.
Well, you know, St. Clair is just a rookie. He's out of the training camp. I tell you what, I watched him a couple times last week in British Columbia. He looked good, but he's far from being a regular wrestling star at this moment. So this match right here, you know, I tell you all, on any given day, anybody can get beat. It's like 2 great football teams, you know. Anybody can capable of getting beat.
That's why they keep score, I guess. Actually, I will tell you, I noticed the little tattoo of the Superman crest on the shoulder of Len St. Clair. And against a big man like Larry Powers, he might be forced to get into that phone booth, make a quick change, and come out as Super Duper Man, because it is a tall order for this young man going up against Larry Powers.
Ask me what I would do if I was in Powers' situation.
What would you do, Bulldog?
I would go out and I'd eat this guy's lunch. And now Powers is playing around right now. He knows that he can beat this guy, but he's playing around in that ring, and I'm going to tell you, that could cost you a victory. And a win today on television by St. Clair would just about finish the Power Twins.
Well, Larry Powers, I think, has other ideas. Look at him pick up Len St. Clair, fire him down to the canvas, a big elbow drop to the midsection. And Larry Powers looks like he wants to, in Bulldog's words, eat this young man's lunch. You're eating a lunch. You're pounding back the peanuts at ringside.
Well, you know, I get so excited, you know, because I'm doing the best wrestling in the world, and I'm so excited when I see these Power Twins. Hey, they got everything that makes a great tag team. They really haven't come into their own. But, you know, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I saw them in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia, and they really won big matches. So I think they're coming on, but right now, he should go in and finish this guy off.
Well, Larry Powers is attempting to do just that. Off those ropes, a big clothesline. And Len St. Clair, I don't know if he can even get up from that. Powers strutting around the ring. He obviously doesn't seem to think too much of his young opponent. Drops him down on his knee, right on the rib cage. And Len St. Clair in all kinds of difficulty.
See, he should have put this guy away. Like now, he's posing to the audience. Listen, and what's going to happen is going to pose one too often. Now he's picking him up. He knows he's got him beat, and he's going to torture him a little thing. Just something like I would do, Jim.
Yeah, you would do something like that. That is sadism at its worst. Oh, the big pile driver, and this should be it.
There's no doubt in my mind that this match was over before it ever hit the ring, Jim. And I'll tell you the truth, it's a big win for the Power Twins. They keep on winning, but they'll have to keep on winning when they face the likes like Johnny Smith and that new Japanese wrestler, Sumahara, and the Singhs. They have to be at their best.
Okay, your winner, Larry Powers. Here he comes. Johnny Smith, he is leading his man into the ring. Sumahara, the very noteworthy Japanese martial arts expert. We have been waiting for this wrestler to arrive in the territory for quite some time. Bulldog Bob Brown, perhaps you could tell us something about Sumahara.
Yeah, I certainly can tell you lots about him. I was over in Japan in November, and this guy was in great training over there, and he was just about finished his training. And one of the greatest things to come out of Japan. And no wonder, looking at him here tonight, he's just dressed fit to kill. And I'm going to tell you, I'm sure he's going to surprise a lot of people across Canada and the United States of America with his skills. They say he's one of the finest individuals that ever come out of Sapporo.
Well, let me tell you this. He came to this territory for 3 reasons. Well known for his martial arts skill and speed, this young Japanese star hopes to duplicate the earlier success of Hirohashi, the Vietnamese star, who's a big man in Japan, and Kichi Yamada was another one. They both were very successful here. There's another reason. He wants Chris Benoit's Commonwealth mid-heavyweight title.
That's not too hard to get.
And also, he wants to show Western wrestling fans what they can expect to see from Japanese stars in terms of karate and kickboxing.
And listen, look who he's got in his corner, no other than Johnny Smith. And you know, Johnny Smith just had a tremendous chain match, which he got a little injured, but he's back, and look who he brought with him. I'll tell you what, a guy like Johnny Smith and anybody's corner has got to be an instant winner.
Well, of course, the fact of the matter is that Johnny Smith should not be in that corner. Once the match starts, he should be away from the ring. I'm always concerned when I see a man known for his skullduggery, such as Johnny Smith, lurking around the ring. You never know when he's going to get involved, and Kim Shaw, I'm sure, will be keeping a close eye on Johnny Smith throughout this bout. Kim Shaw, let us not forget, is a 240 out of Hamilton. He's the one who has to face Sumahara in this debut in the territory. The referee, Jürgen Hermann, and this bout is slated for 1 fall with a 20-minute time limit. I doubt it will last that long.
You know, if I was Kim Shaw right now, I wouldn't worry about Johnny Smith. Listen, I'd go there and I'd look at this guy in the corner. This is the man he's got to beat. Forget about Johnny Smith, because this guy here is going to go out and he's going to make a few mistakes, and Shaw better not make any mistakes with him. Believe me, this guy's a very dangerous individual.
Well, he looks pretty dangerous, and he is now taking off his headgear to reveal a painted face. He looks ominous in there. A very, very different-looking character, Sumu Hera.
You just won't believe it until you see him get into action. He's a tremendous individual.
Well, there's the bell, our timekeeper. Bill Hunt signals the beginning of the bout, and you saw that martial arts kick from Sumu Hera. We will see what he does against a man who outweighs him by about 20 pounds, Kim Shaw.
Maybe he ought to wrestle Blackman. You know, hey, they say Blackman's a tremendous martial arts expert from Philadelphia.
He is indeed. He's a martial arts expert, and speaking of Steve Blackman, I still cannot believe that the man has turned into a turncoat joining the forces of Karachi Vice. That makes me ill.
I know, and Ed Whalen too. But you want to know something? He saw the light. He knew he wasn't going anywhere in his career the way he was going. So he went and joined the Karachi Vice, and the guy's been a success ever since.
Well, Sumu Hera seems to have his hands full with Kim Shaw. Although he right now has the upper hand, working over the arm of Shaw, while referee Jürgen Hermann looks on. The bout thus far has been a fairly scientific affair.
Well, you know, you talk about, as we're talking here right now, he just got in a few minutes ago, Jim, all the way from Japan, you know, which is about 15,000 miles. So he's probably jet-lagged, and it'll take him a couple minutes to get together. But believe me, when he gets it together, there's no stopping this guy. This guy's won it all in Japan.
Well, thus far it has been very evenly matched. There's a takedown, a very clever takedown by Sumu Hera. And still at ringside, poised at ringside with that martial arts stick is Johnny Smith. I don't like seeing him that close to the action.
Well, he's not doing nothing. He's just standing in the corner. Listen, Johnny Smith knows how to communicate with him. They've been together, you know, over in Japan many a times. And when Johnny Smith looks at him and gives him a high sign, the Japanese guy knows exactly what Johnny Smith wants. And if you're going to hang around with Johnny Smith, you've got to be a winner, or he'll get rid of you.
Well, I don't have to worry about that. I will not be hanging around with Johnny Smith, although...
You like hanging around with me, Jim.
Yeah, that's a treat. And speaking of a treat, we have yet to see the power of Sumu Hera unleashed. There's a good arm drag, and he's putting the pressure on the arm and shoulder area of Kim Shaw. I wonder how that jet lag would affect this wrestler. That is a long trip. And as you said, he just arrived today. Got to be a little tired, and the airline food doesn't exactly turn a guy on.
Really doesn't really bother this young kid. You know, this kid here is in tremendous shape, and he knows what to eat and not what to eat on a big trip like this. He's going to be jet-lagged. He's going to be tired, but I want to tell you, he's getting with it now more and more every minute of the match.
Well, I saw that kick right to the Adam's apple of Kim Shaw by Sumu Hera. Look at this. He's got it. Excellent maneuver by Sumu Hera. You're right. He does have some excellent finishing moves.
And I'll tell you what, I hope Chris Benoit is watching the match, because this is what Chris Benoit's got to look out for. This Sumu Hera, he's here for one purpose, that's to get the belt.
Sumu Hera, a very impressive debut, and you seem to be his new manager, Johnny Smith.
I wouldn't quite call myself his manager. All I know is he's a good friend of mine. I brought him over here. He's come from the Orient, and he's going to cause a lot of chaos in the mid-heavyweight division here. There's a lot of names I've got lined up, a lot of names, Biff Wellington, and especially at the top of that list is Chris Benoit. He's going to come hunting for you, and he's going to come hunting fast.
Do you think that he can handle Benoit? Benoit, of course, very familiar with the Japanese wrestlers.
I've seen this guy go. I've seen him go, and I've seen him go, and he can do Benoit. Believe me, he can do Benoit. One other thing, I want to talk about the Dynamite Kid. You know Dynamite? Here's a message from me to you.
Johnny Smith with a message. What might the message be?
Dynamite Kid, there's two reasons why people retire. The one reason why people retire is because they figure they've done everything. They've beaten the best and they've got no competition. Well, I know that's not your case. The other reason why people retire is because they're low-life cowards. And that's what you are. You're nothing but a coward. I never thought it'd come to the day when I had to call a fellow Englishman a coward.
Well, that's what you are. You haven't retired because you're hurt. You haven't retired because you've done it all. You haven't retired because you think you're the best or there's no competition. You retired because you heard the Bruiser is back in town on a cruising, bruising mission, and you're yellow. You're running scared, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide.
Well, nobody, I think, hangs around very long after they call the Dynamite Kid a coward.
He's a coward. Everybody saw I beat him from pillar to post. I touched the 4 turnbuckles first. I was the winner of that match. I was recovered the very next night. I went on a mission to find myself this new man. And this Dynamite Kid is for you, a yellow shirt, because you need it more than I do. You gotta go and get yourself some guts.
Okay, enough of that. Let's go up into the ring where Bulldog Bob Brown is talking with Chris Benoit.
Well, you know, first of all, there's 2 things. When you act like a child, you get treated like one. If you want to act like a gentleman, you act like one. And if you want to listen to me while I'm interviewing you, you're going to do it my way, or there's going to be no way. And after I just watched the Sumahara now, I think you're in big trouble, Benoit.
First of all, Bob Brown, let me tell you something. You proved yourself to all the people last week. I seen on the tape, you came up behind me and hit me with a chair in front of all these people on TV. Not only are you a coward, but you're a liar in saying that you were helping me in the ring. I'll tell you what, Bob Brown, you keep your nose out of my business. Just let me make that clear with you. Sumo Hara, I've seen what you did tonight. You haven't lost anything. I'll tell you what, I'm more than ready for what you've got to dish out. Sumo Hara, when you step in the ring with me this time, you're going to be stepping in the ring with a different Chris Benoit than you were last time we were in Japan.
You see, don't go away, because you see, every time I look at you, you know what I really want to tell you?
What's that, Bob?
Well, first of all, I think you're a smart-nosed young punk. I think when you were a kid, your mother and father never disciplined you. And you grow up into the ranks of being a professional wrestler, and you're so cocky that you think that you can't get beat. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of guys around here that can beat you, Benoit, if you didn't have the officials on your side, including myself. And don't you ever worry.
I'll tell you what, Bob Brown.
Just a minute now.
Everyone knows that talk is cheap. And along with the talk, you're cheap also.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Bob Brown. Like I said, I'm warning you. Don't stick your nose in my business, because your day will come.
It's coming sooner than you think, right next week.
Well, there's the opening bell, and we are just underway in this bout, which is 1 fall, 30-minute time limit. We feature Steve Blackman, the 270-pounder out of Philadelphia, the man who has gone bad, the man who is now a member of Karachi Vice. He is assisted by the Weasel, and his opponent, the popular wrestler from Lloydminster, 218, Biff Wellington. This should be a dandy. And by the way, I noticed you looked a little nervous in the service when you were talking with Chris Benoit. You looked like you were sweating a great deal, so much so I thought maybe we could grow rice on you.
You know, I told him bluntly, when you act like a child, you get treated like one. When you want to act like a gentleman, you'll get treated like one. When I'm in there doing an interview, I don't want nobody being obnoxious to me or grabbing the mic. That's strictly a no-no with him. He's going to behave himself, or he might get something that his parents never gave him when he was a kid. Let's get back to this match, because this match is more important to talk about than Chris Benoit this time. This is a big match for Biff Wellington and a bigger match for Steve Blackman. You know, this is a match that Steve Blackman, if he can go on to win, what an upset this would be on television. And what a match this would be for him.
Well, I don't think it'd necessarily be an upset. Biff Wellington is a mid-heavyweight, of course. He is ranked number 2 in the mid-heavyweight division. Blackman, meanwhile, ranked number 6 in the heavyweight division. He has a lot to gain from a victory. He wants to move up that ladder. He wants a shot at the title currently held by Don the Rock Morocco.
Well, he knows that all the big stars are coming here. He knows that King Harley Race, Don Morocco, Terry and Dory Funk, the Rock and Roll, hey, they're all coming here, and these guys want to get in line, and what they got to do to stay in line, they got to win their big matches. So that's why I say this is a very important match for these 2 young individuals.
We will be watching Steve Blackman carefully to find out if his initiation into Karachi Vice means that he is going to be using some foul tactics. I would expect that Biff Wellington is well aware that he can expect a little in the line of fouls coming from Blackman.
Do you think that he would use a foreign object or any foul moves? Blackman?
I certainly do.
Oh, Jim, I was going to call you Whalen. Excuse me.
Well, I don't mind you're calling me Ed. He's a good friend. Just so long as you don't call me your friend, because I don't need the aggravation I might get on the street if I were to admit that.
Well, you know, everybody's talking about the television show, Jim Davis. You don't know the response that's going across the country and United States of this tremendous show from Canada. And all I can tell you is, listen, I was in Prince Albert the other day, and listen, I ran into a family of the Stephensons, and all they could tell me is what kind of a great job I'm doing. You know, they didn't even mention Ed Whalen.
Yeah, we really believe that, and you can see that Biff Wellington has assumed control of this bout. A very frustrated Steve Blackman on the outside of the ring. He got manhandled in there by some very clever moves from Wellington. Now it's Blackman on the outside, moaning and groaning, while his confrere, his comrade in arms, the Weasel, is storming around outside the ring looking very, very frustrated.
Well, he's around, you know, he's got to be a frustrated little guy. Listen, look what he's come up with, you know. The winner take all. You talk about Mucka Singh and Davy Boy Smith. Hey, the winner meets Morocco. He's the guy that lined it up. So, hey, we got to take our hats off to the little guy, because I think he did a tremendous job of putting this match together, and it cost a few bucks.
I'm sure it did, and I'm not sure that the Weasel was responsible. I know that the IWA wanted that bout. Let's face it, Davy Boy Smith, Mucka Singh, contenders number 1 and 2, they deserve a shot at that belt. And perhaps another man who deserves a shot at the belt, Lethal Larry Cameron.
Well, I thought that Lethal Larry Cameron, once again, the biased officials of the IWA and promoter Stu Hart, I think they overlooked Lethal Larry Cameron. Why? I'll explain it to you, Jim. The man's been undefeated in the last 3 months. Now, don't you think that he should have a little bit of recognition? He's number 1.
He's ranked number 3.
But why? He's undefeated. Davy Boy Smith lost the tag team titles.
Well, one reason why he might be undefeated is he hasn't fought all the competitors yet. Look at that move, a big clothesline by Wellington. And Wellington has assumed control of this bout. It looks like Blackman doesn't want to mix it up in the ring with him.
Biff Wellington just gave him a shot to the throat. The referee should have ordered a yellow card out. That was an illegal move to the throat, Jim Davis.
That was a clothesline.
Yes, it was right into the throat area. And once again, the referee is standing by and letting this match get out of hand.
Referee Wayne Hart is one of the finest referees in all of professional wrestling. And I hear you yelling at Biff Wellington, Bulldog, saying he's overrated. He is not overrated.
I knew you were going to say that.
We are watching two fine wrestlers, Biff Wellington, 218 out of Lloydminster, and Steve Blackman, 270 from Philadelphia. Blackman now with Karachi Vice, now assisted by Abu Weasel, affectionately known to one and all as the Weasel. The referee is Wayne Hart, and we are approaching the 10-minute mark, and this bout has been dominated by the man who is outweighed by 50 pounds, Biff Wellington.
Jim, you know, I know you've been around wrestling for some time, you know. I know you're a pretty good judge of a lot of things, especially when it comes to professional sports. But down deep now, Jim, what do you think of the upcoming match with Mucka and Davy Boy, with the ingredients in it that the winner meets the champion?
It'll be a great one, and speaking of great ones, look at that clothesline. But if you're asking me for a prediction, Davy Boy Smith should dispatch Mucka Singh.
That certainly would put a lot in common when Davy Boy Smith would meet Don the Rocco Marco. The size of both of them, what a tremendous contest that would be.
It'd be a showstopper, no doubt about it. Right now, it's Steve Blackman mouthing away at the fans. He seems to be unable to concentrate on the bout. He's wandering around outside with the weasel. Wellington wants a piece of him, but Blackman seems reluctant to get involved.
Have you noticed Wellington's hand? It's full of blood. You know, he's suffered a bad cut in his knuckle. And I'll tell you what, that could be a big thing out of this match. That could be the difference between this match of winning and losing.
Well, I don't think a cut knuckle is what's going to determine this bout. I think it's going to be the speed and skill of young Biff Wellington against the martial arts and the size of Blackman.
If I would have been in Blackman's shoes right now, and I would have saw that blood on his knuckle, you know what I would have done. I would have went for that hand, and I would have started working on it.
You'd start biting it, no doubt.
Well, I'll tell you, I'd go out to win. This is an important match for Blackman. He's got to take all the chances. He's got to cut corners, even if he has to cheat, like I'll tell Ed Whelan.
Hey. Let us not encourage cheating. The wrestling fans and all of those of us who believe in fair play do not like that kind of talk.
I knew you were going to say that.
I didn't even know I was going to say that. You're a psychic, Bob Brown. There's a test of strength at mid-ring. They have locked their hands, and Blackman is showing a lot of strength, but Wellington will not give up. The referee, Wayne Hart, has asked him, do you concede? And look at this move. Whoa! Biff Wellington, really impressive in this bout.
Well, you know, there's no price. You know, Biff Wellington has improved so much, and I'll tell you, every day, every week, every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, you look at this guy's improving more and more and more every day. And this is a big match for him. He knows that Morocco's coming into town. He knows the Funks are coming in, and he wants to get a piece of the action. But before he gets a piece of the action, Jim, he's got to win some big matches. And this is what he must start here doing today.
Well, Biff Wellington has won a lot of big matches in the past, both in this territory, in the Far East, and all over the world. You mentioned that he's shown remarkable improvement. In his very first year, he was voted the most improved wrestler in the territory. Look at this. Blackman getting knocked on his keister. But, oh, a little too aggressive was Biff Wellington. Blackman took advantage of that and fired him right through the ropes onto the concrete, and now Blackman's going outside to torment him.
This is what he must do. Take it right to him. Hey, beat his head into that. Now it's getting reversed, you see. But this is what you must do. Take chances. I like excitement. I like roughness. I like brutality. I like people getting beat up. This is what I like to watch. This is what I like to commentate on. And there goes Biff Wellington over the top rope.
The referee was distracted. The referee was distracted by the weasel. The crowd is very incensed. It should have been an automatic disqualification. Blackman put him right over the top rope.
Let me explain, Jim. No, it wasn't over the top rope. Biff Wellington came running, and what you call ducked and picked him up in a suplex, and he went over. That's not over the top rope, and he shouldn't be called for it. The referee is doing his job now. And if he goes on and disqualifies Blackman, it won't be the proper justice, believe me.
Well, Wayne Hart, a very good referee, but he can't make a call if he can't see it, and he was distracted by that little Tasmanian devil at ringside, the weasel.
Call him?
Little Tasmanian devil. He's always a little whirling dervish out there.
That Ed Whelan likes to kick him. You like to call him names. I'll tell you what, you've got to know this guy. Go out for a beer some night with him. Let him take you to a restaurant. You know what? He picks up the tab too, Jim.
Well, if he's with you, Bulldog, I'm sure he does. Wellington in trouble now. Blackman, that big elbow drop. And now Bulldog is cozying up with the weasel at ringside. This is disgusting.
Dinner, everything, money, girls, everything, all for you best, you best.
I like it.
Yeah, well, you make a lovely couple. Speaking of things that should deserve a yellow card, there was Blackman with a chop right to the throat of Wellington. Look at that. Oh! 1, 2. Just a 2 count.
Tremendous move on Biff Wellington. Hey, they say he's high-flying. I'll tell you, that was a high-flying maneuver. something that Chris Benoit uses. So maybe he's been copying a little bit off Chris Benoit. Because that's how Benoit wins some of his big matches, with that same hold.
Well, we have seen a lot of high flyers in this territory. Owen Hart, of course, being one of the most notable. Chris Benoit, another. Dynamite Kid, Biff Wellington. All the high flyers are here, and they're providing all kinds of great entertainment for the wrestling fans. They love the acrobatic wrestlers.
You know, the best match I ever watched, I was in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and I saw Biff Wellington and Chris Benoit against the Cuban Commandos. And Jim, it was the greatest match I've ever saw in professional wrestling. It started and never stopped. They went right through 1 hour draw. It was just fabulous, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm still talking about it after 3 months.
Well, you're still talking about a lot of things after 3, 6 months, 10 years. You'll remember the last time that you got taken out for a free beer by Abu Weasal, and that's not a pretty thought. But right now, a man who is not having many pretty thoughts in the ring is Biff Wellington. He has been poleaxed, and now over the top rope once again by Steve Blackman. Another reason for disqualification, but once again, it was the Weasel distracting referee Wayne Hart.
Now, just a minute now. Blackman shot him into the ropes to give him a backdrop. And Biff Wellington kept on going over the top. You can't penalize Blackman for that. Hey, I'm sure the referee knows what happened. He didn't deliberately throw him over the...
Time for you to renew the prescription lenses on those glasses.
Maybe, I'll tell you what, I don't think I need glasses to see that. Biff Wellington is all through. I think it's just a matter of time before Blackman puts him away.
Don't count Biff Wellington out too soon. He is down. He is hurt. But this young man has a lot of heart. Blackman, though, will not give him a chance to recover. Drops him down with that backbreaker on the knee. Here's a pin attempt, too. Wellington gets his leg up on the ropes at the last possible second.
That's the signs of a great athlete, right, James? Put his foot on the ropes.
Well, it's a sign of a man who knows his way around the ring. But Blackman dominating.
Well, he said this has certainly been a struggle, you know. It's a match that I'd like to have. The people are with it. The people are giving Biff Wellington a big standing ovation. And the more they give it to him, this would help Biff Wellington. He's got to get up and he's got to get something going because he's been on the receiving end of 2 or 3 minutes of hard knocks. And it's not too much more it'll take before he's out of this.
Look at that move. Under that clothesline. Oh, but he does not avoid that chop across the throat area. And now Blackman is going upstairs. He's going to take a high flyer. There's that crossbody block. Oh, look at this. Wellington turned him around. I think that Blackman took a little too long.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. He never had Wellington set up before he went to the top rope. He should have punished him a little bit more and then went to the top rope. But he's doing a good job on the floor now.
Oh, Blackman just drove the head of Wellington into our ringside table. And Wellington looks like he's on Strange Street. He was hurt by that maneuver. The referee, Wayne Hart, is cautioning Blackman to get back to allow Wellington an opportunity to get into the ring, but he is badly shaken up.
Well, he's shaken up. For the last 4 or 5 minutes, Blackman's been really taking it to him. And I'll tell you, it's been a struggle. I'll tell you, if Wellington comes out of this, and then I'll tell you what, he must be in pretty good shape.
It will be difficult for him to get back. There's that big foot right in the throat of Wellington. Blackman will not give Biff Wellington any opportunity to try and mount a comeback. And that's, I suppose, to Blackman's credit. You can never stop in this game of professional wrestling. There's that big suplex. Here's an opportunity to just a 2 count, but very, very close.
Yeah, referee could have counted 3 very easily. I think he kind of felt sorry for Biff Wellington. Biased as Wayne Hart is, he could have counted him out.
Come on. Wayne Hart, a very accomplished referee, not biased. Look at this. We're going to have a collision. Both men are down. Both men are shaken up.
Right now, they got to the count of 10 to get up. I'll tell you, these both guys are weakened right now. So I'll tell you, any one of them is capable of putting each other away at this present moment.
Blackman to his feet first. Wellington comes back with a suplex. It appeared that Blackman wanted to suplex Wellington right over the top rope. Oh! Wellington caught the knees of Blackman right in his midsection, and this could be it.
Should have been disqualified. He came off over the top rope. Wouldn't you reckon?
No, I don't think so. Oh, ho, ho! It is tit for tat. Wellington got his knees up, and Blackman got a pair of knees right in the midsection.
I tell you, either one of these guys could have won this match 3 or 4 times now, but I tell you, I don't know what they're made out of. That's why I say, when you watch a professional wrestling match like you've been watching for the last 17, 18 minutes and see what we saw, Jim Davis, no wonder that this sport is #1, and it'll stay #1 as long as we got competitors in the ring like Blackman and Biff Wellington.
They are two great competitors. There's that suplex. 1, 2, but he's got his foot up on the rope. Referee Wayne Hart notices that Blackman was able to avoid that pin by getting his leg up on the rope. Here's a small package, 2. Again, just a 2 count. Wellington doing everything except put his man away.
You can't beat Blackman with a small package or a cradle. You gotta beat him severely. You gotta do a lot of things with him. And right now he made his mistake, and now he might pay the price for it.
Well, Wellington did make a mistake. He ran into that big foot of Blackman. Blackman is trying to tie him up in the ropes here. He's got him all tied up, and he's going after his head and his body with those boots.
18 or 19 minutes, then you go do the next best thing. You go and beat him up, even if you have to cheat or push the referee around. Go out and beat him now. And this is what I like about
He's going to get disqualified. He just pushed the referee, knocked him over. He is going to be disqualified. He is disqualified, and rightly so. The winner, because of the disqualification to Steve Blackman, is Biff Wellington, and justice has been served.
I don't think he should have disqualified him. I thought the match was getting right in on its own. I thought it was a great match. They should have let them both carry on. I think Wayne Hart went overboard and pulled that red card. That's all he's good for.
Oh, come on. Blackman assaulted the referee. It is all over. The winner, Biff Wellington, via disqualification.
Steve, let's talk man to man now. I've known you now for 2 or 3 years, but I really don't think I've ever saw you as good as you were tonight against Biff Wellington. I thought you were tremendous.
I knew you like what you were saying there, Bob. He was getting a beating of his life. And then he had to come out here and stop the match. I tell you, it was all over. I went to counting 1, 2, 3. You saw it.
Well, I looked at the match this way here. I thought it was a great match for television. Hey, I saw 17, 18 minutes. Either one of you could have won it. I thought that referee, Wayne Hart, as biased as he is, pulled that red card out just when you're getting the best of him.
I agree. I'm out here. The theory, no mercy. Win by whatever you need. And take him out here stopping the match. I want Davey Boy out here. Any of those other Vice Busters, Tillman, Benoit, any of them. I'll give them the same beating that y'all just witnessed right now.
How is it to be affiliated now with the Karachi Vice? And I'll tell you what, your whole situation, your whole life seems to be changed. You're on the winning circle now.
That's right. That's all that matters.
Like it,
Being on the winner's circle. That's what it's all about.
You bet.
Money and winning.
Yeah, that's right. You stick around this young guy, and what's going to happen?
Mr. Brown, Wayne Hart, stop match. He beat him. 1, 2, 3. You see, beat him.
We'll be right back after this important message.
Little man, it's that smirk you got on your face when you say that. Deep down inside, I know, little man, you thinking something totally different.
Hey.
But let me tell all you morons out there in television land, and all you old fat men sitting on the couch, perpetrating a couch potato. Now, since I've been in this territory the last 3 weeks, 3 months, I've been undefeated. Now, there's something seriously going on around here. Now, we're going to get to the bottom of it. Now, why is it that they pull up some overweight Markenstein and some overweight Davy Boy Smith to face great Don Morocco, which I should be there facing Don Morocco.
Well, they are ranked number 1 and 2.
I want to get to the bottom of this right away.
First of all, let's stop this, okay? Let's get to the real bottom of this whole situation. You know, I told you about 2 or 3 months ago that the promotion here is so biased, it's pathetic now. Now, let's get down to reality now.
Okay,
now,
let us.
Here you got a guy that's been undefeated for 3 months. Okay, let's just say that. The guy hasn't got beat in 3 months, okay? Now the champion comes into town, Don the Rock Morocco. So what do they go ahead and they do? They have a match between Mukka Singh and Davy Boy Smith, the winner to meet Don Morocco. Now, you tell me in your own words that this isn't biased. Here's the guy that should have had Don the Rock Morocco. This is the guy that would have went on and got the
Davy
championship.
Boy Smith and Mukka Singh are ranked number 1 and 2.
Yeah, let me tell you about Davy Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid and Chris Benoit. They're all biased, and you know who runs the promotion. So as long as Davy Boy Smith and Dynamite, and he stood right here last week, he wants to retire. If I was him, I'd retire too if I looked as bad as he did.
Well, I wish you did retire, and you will undoubtedly get a heavyweight title shot if you continue your undefeated record.
That's right. Let me tell the rest of you morons out there, and all you morons out there that's staring me in my face and admiring my beautiful body. I am what makes the world go round. I am an unmovable object, and I am the irresistible force. And before it's all with, all you morons out there will testify that I am the great one, and I have been sent here to get a job done, and by God, I will get it done.
Okay.
You know, Larry, let me say one thing in closing, Larry. Listen, I feel for you, and I feel sorry that you've been treated this way. You're an outstanding football player that played football in Canada, one of the toughest they saw, and you quit because it was turned into be a girls' game, and you come here to be a professional wrestler, and you are one of the best, and you should have had the match against Don Morocco. And on behalf of myself, I want to say that I'm sorry that I'm part of this organization.
Okay. This message was brought to you by the 2 members of the I Love Lethal Larry Cameron fan club. Get ready to rumble. It's our main event. 8-man bunkhouse elimination brawl. Mukka Singh, Volkan Singh, the Great Gamma, and Lethal Larry Cameron against Davy Boy Smith, Flying Brian Pillman, Ron Ritchie, and Chris Benoit. Perhaps, Bulldog, you can set the scene, explain the rules in this 8-man bunkhouse elimination brawl.
It's the kind of rules that I really like. It's a free-for-all. If you get thrown over the top rope, you're eliminated. If you get pinned, you're eliminated. So this should be a wild one, and I've been really looking forward today to see this match, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of talent. When you're talking about Mukka Singh, Volkan Singh, Lethal Larry Cameron, and the Great Gamma. Now you turn the other side, you see Brian Pillman, Davy Boy Smith, overrated Chris Benoit, and the fabulous Ron Ritchie. You're seeing everything.
Okay, it should be a ring, ding-dong dandy. Look at that move. Brian Pillman gives us the reason why he's called Flying Brian.
They're calling me Flying Bob next week.
Yeah, I hear you're going to be doing your thing in Lethbridge.
Oh, I tell you, I can't wait. All you people in Lethbridge, don't miss it, because it's the end of the night. The party's over for Chris Benoit.
Yeah, right, and I really do believe that. Let us concentrate on the action without thinking about Bob Brown in the ring. What a disgusting thought that is. You can see Mukka Singh holding on to Davy Boy Smith, but the Great Gamma winds up planting a knee right in the midsection, the ample midsection of Mukka Singh.
Why do you say a disgusting thing? I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to go out winning like I always have. I've never got beat.
Can't take a microphone into the ring with you, though. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm good at both of them.
Well, a man who's good at very, very many things, Davy Boy Smith, one half of the British Bulldogs, has got Volkan Singh in some difficulty right now, and I'm still wondering whether or not the Dynamite Kid was deadly serious when he said he wanted to retire.
If I looked as bad as him, I'd retire too.
Hey, come on.
I'll tell you the truth. He should have been gone a long time ago. And you want to know something? After next week, Benoit will announce his retirement.
Okay, look at the strength that we just saw exhibited by Davy Boy Smith. He held that 320-pound Volkan Singh in the air for maybe a 10 count before he slammed him down onto the canvas.
And before we leave, you know, I'll tell you, I'm so happy. But you know, all exciting things have been happening in British Columbia. We're on our way back. Trail, BC, Kelowna, Vernon, Kamloops, Prince George, Grande Prairie, Fort McMurray, Prince Rupert, Kitimat, Terrace, Smithers, and we're even going to Yellowknife.
Well, I can't think of a better place. It's pretty far away from me. If you're up in Yellowknife, I'll stay in Calgary.
Shame on you for saying such a horrible statement, James. I thought we were friends.
Ah, well, we all make mistakes. It is Davy Boy Smith in the ring against the great Gamma off those ropes. Gamma thought he'd be knocking him over. He has another thing coming. Gamma wondering, what is that brick wall? There's that big arm drag. Gamma is...
Hey, let me remind you, it wasn't an arm drag, it was a hip toss, James. I know you get so excited sitting next to me, but call them as you see them. That was a hip toss.
Thank you, Dr. Bulldog Brown. He's got a PhD piled higher and deeper. Right now, it's Gamma with the full Nelson. Oh, ho, ho! Volkan Singh tattoos his own partner right across the throat.
Well, this match is far from being over, you know. There's 8 people in there, and I'll tell you, some of them will have to lose. I'll tell you, it's going to be an important match, because I'll tell you, the winner of this could go a long way.
Well, there will be a team of winners, and look at Benoit going to town on the noggin of Gamma. There's the tag, and in comes the lethal one, the man that you say could be the rightful North American heavyweight champ.
Yeah, watch him now give it to Benoit. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this.
Our timekeeper, Bill Hunt, tells us we have passed the 5-minute mark in this 8-man bunkhouse elimination brawl, no time limit. Oh, ho, ho! Benoit going to town. And I think Lethal Larry just got a little bit of a surprise there, Bulldog.
Oh, it's just a tease. Cameron's going to put him away.
Benoit has other ideas. He is manhandling Lethal Larry. I can hear the fans yelling that they want you in the ring, Bulldog.
The match would have been over by now. I would have won it already.
Yeah, right. Oh, Ron Ritchie comes down on the arm of Lethal Larry Cameron. No love lost between these two wrestlers.
Oh, no, they've been meeting, I'll tell you, right across Canada, the United States. I'll tell you, they had some of the biggest riots I've ever saw. I'll tell you, Ritchie just wants to finish him off, but you know what? He always ends up on the losing end.
Well, I don't buy that. Ritchie doesn't look like anything like a loser in the ring right now. He is working over the arm of Lethal Larry Cameron. There's the tag, and in comes flying Brian Pillman, continuing to work over that arm.
Another overrated individual. People see him walk into the ring, they go crazy. I don't know what. Listen, he was a 3-time loser. Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati, and the Calgary Stampeders. Automatically, he's a 3-time loser. What makes you think that he can come into professional wrestling and become a star?
Professional wrestling and professional football, two very different sports. And Pillman has been acquitting himself well in the ring in his Davy Boy Smith. And they are all concentrating on working over that arm of Lethal Larry Cameron. At the end of a little bit more of this punishment, I don't know if he'd be able to break an egg with his hand. His arms are going to be so sore.
Well, you know, Davy Boy Smith has been around. He's doing his thing now. He knows what it takes to beat Cameron, and he's going to go to work on him with a hold. And this is good wrestling by Davy Boy Smith. Sometimes I don't agree with some of his cheating ways, but right now he's doing the right thing.
Davy Boy cheating? Come on. Let us be serious. And Davy Boy winds up in the one place he doesn't want to be, in the corner of the Karachi Vice. And it's 380-pound Muck and Singh driving Davy Boy's head right into that turnbuckle. And the big man from Saginaw, Michigan is going to town. Here comes that Karachi Crunch. Oh, ho, ho. Davy Boy Smith met him with a clothesline, too. Just a 2 count, and Gamma comes in the ring to get involved and break it up.
Good tag team work. Come in and save his partner. Hey,
good tag team work.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
cheating.
Oh, no. You got to stick together.
And that is cheating, too. Volkan Singh beating up now on Davy Boy Smith, who had been held by Muckin Singh. Over the top goes Davy Boy. What a ride. He came down hard, and he looked shaken up. A big splash. 1, 2, just a 2 count. And Volkan Singh is complaining about the speed of the count.
Well, I've been complaining about that for 2 months when Wayne Hart's in there, especially in big matches. He knows Davy Boy Smith. You know, he's sticking up for him.
Wayne Hart is an unbiased official, a very fair official, well-respected, the referee of the year in the territory.
Who's he respecting?
The referee of the year in the territory.
I don't know. Is he the only one around?
No, he's not. Your friend, Jürgen Herman, is around, as well as several other referees.
Oh, I see.
Davy Boy Smith has been taking a lot of punishment in the last couple of minutes. First at the hands of Volkan Singh, then Lethal Larry Cameron. Now it's Muckin Singh's turn to work over Davy Boy Smith, who needs to make a tag. There's a big clothesline.
You're looking at the big match here next week, right here. Look what Mucka's doing to him. Mucka knows with a big win him over here, he can do the same thing next week and go on and meet Morocco. This is a great opportunity for Mucka.
Look at that choke by Gamma. Referee Wayne Hart gets on the scene. Whoa! Did you see him throw Gamma off?
Well, his arms are about 23, 24 inches. Anybody could do that.
We have just passed the 10-minute mark. This bout, a no-time limit affair, 8-man elimination bunkhouse brawl. And it is now Muckin Singh working over Davy Boy Smith, who is in serious need of making a tag.
Yeah, you know what? He's just playing with him now. You know, he wants a little bit left of him for next week. He knows if he can go out and destroy him today and really hurt him, then Mucka Singh don't have to wrestle him.
I think that Davy Boy will be pleased no matter what condition he's in to face Muckin Singh, the winner of whom will go up against Don Morocco.
Not if he gets beat like he's getting beat here the last 2 or 3 minutes. They're really putting one on him, Jim. This is, I'll tell you what, this is very, very damaging right now, especially when you're going to go for a shot against Morocco, the winner, Mucka Singh and him.
Look at Davy Boy Smith. Oh, he caught that big knee from Volkan Singh. The Karachi Vice team looking good, too, just a 2 count. The one thing that the Vice team is doing that the Vice Busters are not is making those quick tags. Davy Boy Smith has been in the ring an awfully long time, and he has been taking enormous punishment at the hands of Karachi Vice.
Just like I'll tell you and Ed Whalen, Davy Boy Smith, Jim, is a very selfish individual. He's got 3 partners over he could have tagged, but no, he wants to do it all. He thinks he's a big shot.
Do you not think he wants to make a tag? Of course he does.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, of course it doesn't look like it because he's trapped in the corner. Gamma is strangling Davy Boy Smith. Lethal Larry Cameron now choking away, and Gamma pounding at the midsection of Smith. Smith takes another punch in the face, flipped down to the canvas. He needs to make a tag. I cannot overemphasize that enough.
You know they're not going to let him. You know they got him in a position right now. By quick tagging, they can hold this guy here for 25, 30 minutes and really hurt him. This is what they're going to do. They're going to try to put Davy Boy Smith out of circulation so Mucka wouldn't have to go and waste his time with him next week.
Well, there's Muckin Singh getting involved where he shouldn't be. He came in illegally and pounded away at the midsection of Davy Boy off the ropes. And there's that big elbow by the great Gamma. Gamma taking control off the ropes again. Oh, Smith caught him with a knee, and there's the tag. In comes Richie. Richie going after one, then the other. There's the atomic drop on Gamma, who goes flying right into Mukkan Singh. Ron Ritchie wants everybody. He is going after all 4 members of Karachi Vice.
How much longer do you think he can take it? Right now. You see, they stopped him right in his tracks. He went at it too fast. He thought he was going to a fire. He should have taken his time when he had the opportunity.
Well, there's the tag. In comes Benoit. And Benoit now going after Gamma. Gamma is the man who is now in trouble. In comes Pillman.
This is what you got to do, Jeff. Hey, quick tag now. That's the way. That's the team now. They got Gamma in bad trouble here now. Watch, he's going to get up and he's going to tag. He's going to cover. You watch now. This is the way you've got to do it.
Well, Benoit is getting that message. Look at this. Oh! Gamma could be ready to be eliminated.
That doesn't take much in this kind of a match.
Oh, there's a good move by Gamma. He drove Benoit over to the corner, and now Benoit trapped in that corner, and he is getting pounded by Mukkan Singh and Lethal Larry Cameron, who now enters the ring.
I would say that's the wrong corner, wouldn't you?
Quite definitely.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I thought you agreed with me.
Benoit has to escape that corner, but Lethal Larry Cameron has other ideas. He is pounding away at Chris Benoit, and in comes Mukkan Singh. That seems to be the Karachi Vice technique. Trap an opponent in the corner, work him over with all 4 wrestlers.
I tell you, it's got to be a real exciting match when you got Stu Hart out here sitting. He probably hasn't saw this much action in 35 years. You know, when he wrestled, he laid in the hole for 3 hours at a time. He's never saw excitement like this. He's never saw great athletes like this. Stu Hart, I can understand why he's sitting beside us.
Well, Stu Hart, of course, a very knowledgeable wrestling man, a former great wrestler, and a brilliant promoter of this wrestling show, I can tell you. Look at that move by Benoit. Benoit really surprising Mukkan Singh, but Mukkan Singh is hanging on to him while Mukkan Singh enters the ring.
He really got tapped on top of the head, but he saw an opportunity. He knew Mukkan Singh wasn't too far over, and he went right over and tagged. Great teamwork. Hey, what can I tell you?
Well, Benoit is out on the concrete outside the ring, and Gamma was going after him. Ron Ritchie makes an appearance on the scene. Ritchie keeping Gamma at bay. And Benoit is successful, and no, he is not. He was going to re-enter the ring. Gamma grabs that chair, and he drove it into the back of Benoit. He's hitting him continually with that chair. That looks like you 1 week ago.
Yeah, well, you know, Benoit, hey, he brought the chair in from the outside. He knocked a young kid off, 5 or 6 years old, knocked him right out of his chair and took that chair. Shame on Benoit.
That's nonsense. That's garbage. Gamma's the one who got that chair. Benoit was worked over outside the ring by both Gamma and Lethal Larry Cameron. Now he has to fight the big bear hug of 380-pound Mukkan Singh.
Not the only thing he's going to. It's not the only thing he's going to fight. Not the only thing he's going to fight. And next week he's got his big opportunity.
Well, I think he would relish the idea of facing Bulldog Bob Brown in the ring. Would Chris Benoit. Right now, he has other fish to fry. He's trying to get over to make the tag. He does make it. In comes Davey Boy Smith. There was a tag. The referee didn't see it.
No, he didn't have the rope in his hand.
And there was no tag there. Mukkan Singh is in the ring illegally. There was no tag by Mukkan Singh, and now it's Mukkan Singh pouring on the pressure with that big bear hug.
Oh, it's a turn. I think they got Benoit. They got him where they want him. They got him in the corner where he can reach back and tag Cameron or Mukka or Gamma. Keep him right in that corner. Keep Davy Boy out, Richie out, and Pillman out. They got this match won.
Volkan Singh continuing to work over Chris Benoit. Benoit desperately wants to make a tag. Up those ropes. Whoa! Ho, ho. Did you see Benoit bounce off the canvas?
I see that every week.
We are watching an 8-man bunkhouse elimination brawl. We will continue with the action.
Going through the air like an airplane. Who else in professional wrestling could do that other than the great one himself, Makka Singh?
Well, Makka Singh does surprise a lot of people with his agility. He is a huge man, but he can move around in that ring very, very well. There's that big bear hug. Davy Boy Smith under 380 pounds of pressure.
See, Makka Singh is mixing it up. First he give him a splash in the corner. Then he give him a high backdrop that sent Davy Boy 10 feet in the air. He softened him up, and now he's gone to the bear hug. I tell you, he's doing a lot of things, and this is what you must do to beat a guy like Davy Boy Smith, because don't forget, he's one of the great British Bulldogs, a guy that he thinks that he can't get beat, but he's looking terrible right now.
Well, he is taking the worst of it right now, but look at this. He turns it around, and it's Smith with the bear hug on Makka Singh.
He's even going to look a little worse next week in Lethbridge.
He's got that 380-pounder picked up off the canvas, and Makka Singh gouged his way out. Both men down with that big collision.
That's kind of surprised me. He knocked the 380-pound guy down, but also he fell down too, so he took the full force too. Both of them are now getting a little weak, I think, because, my goodness, this match has gone 40 minutes already.
Hey, the Weasel just interfered, and there's that big splash. 1, 2, 3, and the Weasel was holding on to the feet of Davy Boy Smith. This is a travesty. The Karachi Vice win, but with a lot of outside interference by the Weasel.
I'll tell you, Davy Boy Smith took so many chances. He hit the rope and tripped coming off the ropes, fell down. Makka Singh gave him the big splash, was all over. I didn't see no interference. You know, I'm going to tell you, I don't think I've ever saw you look better, more determination than I saw you the last two with Davy Boy Smith after everybody was eliminated. Is that a preview of what we're going to see next Wednesday?
You know something, Bob Brown? We're coming in here in a couple days on Wednesday, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Everybody tells me over and over again, you've been 3-time champion, you've been this, you've been that. You've got to prove yourself. Bulldog Bob Brown, after I just beat Davy Boy Smith in the middle of that ring tonight, I have nothing left to prove. But Davy Boy Smith, if you want to climb in these ropes with me in Calgary this coming Wednesday, one-on-one, and get your rear end beat again in your hometown in front of these people, that's fine with me. But when you get up, when you recover, when you revive, you pass a message on to Morocco that he's next, and I'm going to kick the hell out of him too.
Davy Boy Smith and Brian Pillman, once again, it was interference by Karachi Vice. In this instance, it was the Weasel grabbing your feet. That cost you the bout. Now you've got another bout coming up with Makka Singh. What the heck can you do about the Weasel?
Well, we've got a lot of plans, Jim Davis, and we've got a lot of talking to do. And let me tell you something, Makka Singh. I told the little people on TV earlier tonight, it didn't matter if you beat me or whoever beat me. You're number one in line for that North American heavyweight belt for Don Morocco. I'm number two. Well, Makka Singh, you've got to face me one-on-one. That's right. And Weasel, I've got something for you, because next Wednesday night, there's not only going to be Abdul Weasel at ringside, I'm going to have Brian Pillman at my side to make sure there's no outside interference. Because, Jim Davis, this is a very important match for Davy Boy Smith. This is for the King of the Hill. This is for the North American heavyweight title match. This is for the match who's going to face Don Morocco. And who's in my way? That big fat mountain of a man, Makka Singh. And Davy Boy Smith is going to get rid of you, Makka Singh. That's right, you toilet bowl. I can do it all by myself. And then when I've gone after you and beaten you next Wednesday night, then I'm going after Don Morocco, because I want to be North American heavyweight champion. And I will be North American heavyweight champion.
Very intense wrestlers. But as Ed Whalen would say, in the meantime and in between time, that's it. Another edition of TSN Wrestling. Bye-bye now.
I'd like you to meet